welcome back to the E-Arsenal podcast. We're here once again to talk all things and everything Arsenal. We're not coming to you. We are coming to you live, but we're not live for your ears' delectation this evening as our little experimentation. Well, it was to a point. It went well, but then there were all sorts of extenuating circumstances that, including bongo drums, that were not allowing us to. It was quite fiddly, but we'll try and sort that out. Perhaps not for this season, as frankly there's no real big games or strangely scheduled games for the rest of the season. So perhaps, perhaps next season or sometime in the summer we can do a live thing. But that remains another story for another time. So we're here once again. We're going to be talking about the Sunderland game, another fairly insipid outing. Let's be honest, and we're going to take Arsenal apart, not literally, but we're going to take certain players up to task, and we'll be talking a few transfer rumours and other things like that with a couple of weeks now left of the season. And I'm here once again with two honorary, we'll call them honorary. What the hell? Two honorary members of the Arsenal fraternity. Hello, Rob. Good evening.
Hello.
So no bongos this week.
No bongos. It feels like a while since we've done one of these. I mean, I know it was only like Thursday, but it feels like a while since we've actually sat down, not live, and recorded one of these.
Such is the pleasure of broadcasting about Arsenal these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only 5 days ago, Rob. Only 5 days ago.
I know, but it feels like an eternity ago.
Yes. Everything okay?
Yeah,
Apart from hating football, like generally.
I mean, I was a bit worried I was going to get attacked by lightning about 10 minutes ago, but it seems to have stopped. So as long as I don't go outside, I think I'll be all right.
Well, it's sunny here in sunny South London, as it always is. But that's another story. And hello, we'll be joined once again by Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
How is the weather with you? Since we're doing weather updates.
At the moment, it's quite pleasant.
Yes.
Yeah, earlier I felt as though I was in the Arctic. A bit cold.
It's ridiculously cold for almost May, isn't it? I might be taking you to task on Jack Wilshere later on, but we'll see how things go. I think we'll bring him up, but yeah. So let's go back to the Sunderland game. I mean, that's all I've got to say about it. Really, another thoroughly insipid performance. Sam Allardyce, BFS, set his team up pretty much to get a point. But at the end of the day, we gave them more than enough chances, and they could have won it. It's just so utterly uninspiring, and it's not toothless necessarily, but it's just like, oh god, And if Alexis Sanchez doesn't score, then we don't score. It's getting, that's been the case most of the season when he's been fit, but it just, I honestly, I just don't know now. Things have got to change because. I'll say my 2 cents right now. If a lot of people are saying, yeah, Wenger will probably see out his contracts, but I can see a scenario where we buy 1 or 2 players, maybe marquee players, and then we go down 1-0. Say we're at home on the first day of the season, and then this atmosphere of just poison will be in the ground again, and be like, oh my god, here we go again, and we've just got this for another year, because he won't leave. Short of it, because we'd be, he'd be in it for his final year, and he wouldn't walk away because he wants his final year, and he's entitled to. But it's just, I want to celebrate, as I was saying on Twitter and various social media platforms. I want to be able to celebrate Wenger's legacy by saying goodbye to him. Now, I think, and the sooner and the longer it goes on, the more awkward it gets. Matt, what are your thoughts about Sunderland, the performance?
Oh, absolutely horrendous.
I'll quote you saying you're hating football. Right.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. As soon as I saw, I don't want to make, I know a lot of people make him a scapegoat, but as soon as I saw that Giroud was in the side after doing nothing against West Brom, I thought, well, we don't have much chance of scoring.
What is going with Giroud?
I don't know. I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous that we play Giroud when Welbeck, Iwobi, Sanchez, that front three has played as well as it has done.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth juggling it around a little bit just to persevere. Say, oh, come on, Giroud, really, come on, you can really score goals, but no, I really can't score goals at the moment, and he really can't do a lot. He nearly set up, I think it was Iwobi when he laid the ball off to him, and he probably should have scored. Or that might have been Ozil, I'm not too sure. But he's just, since he's had a kid, he's just been terrible. It's like, I mean, I've got no words to describe it. Rob?
Yeah.
Giroud?
I mean, I wanted to defend him.
You said you wanted to defend him.
But it's really hard to... I mean, I think I made the argument a couple of weeks ago that he's all right to just have in the squad because he seems to get like a dozen goals a season. And I compared him to Dzeko in a way that, like, Aguero is obviously the talisman for City, but when they had Dzeko, it was a partnership they could put together, and Dzeko will get you a dozen goals a season, and those dozen goals might be a difference maker.
And Giroud's got us a dozen goals. He's got us 12.
He has. So, but he's not. Dzeko, you'd never put him as the main. If City didn't have Aguero and just had Dzeko, they would be a lot worse off. And I feel that's sort of our problem. We have the player that can sort of get you the dozen goal difference, but we don't have the number one striker that's going to be competing for the Golden Boot. And that's sort of the issue. That's sort of the issue we have right now.
A la Jamie Vardy, a la Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, I mean, what did you think about? It just seemed like utterly horrible. I have to say, Koscielny played really well. He's actually come back into form a little bit, which I'm pleased to see. So I'm not whether that's because he's got Mertesacker as his partner, I don't know, but I mean that's good to see. With Ramsey coming in for Coquelin, I mean he was pretty shambolic, I thought, against Sunderland, giving the ball away, wasting chances. So I mean I don't know whether that experiment really worked. And as a friend pointed out to me, we are actually now really missing, or have been missing, Santi for about 2 months now, about 3 months. Just that dynamic he's got with Lecoq, as it were.
I argue we've missed him since he got injured in November. Really, that's almost when the drop off started.
Yeah, it was a worry for me, like because we had to just start again. We had to start from scratch. We had to redefine a role for both Ramsey and Coquelin, and El Neni was excellent also against Sunderland. His passing's astute, and his eye for not necessarily his eye for goal, but his eye. He's turned into a bit of a dead eye playmaker in that. So that's good to see. But yeah, it's just I'm trying not to. I don't know. Help me out here.
Just losing the well.
Yeah, I'm losing the well.
I just think I just can't wait for this season just to finish, just for the 15th of May or whatever it is to come round and just all be done with it and go again in pre-season. But I just think it just looks like half of the players are already on holiday. But yeah, I mean, it's quite depressing, really.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, how did you see Ramsey's performance, Matt?
I mean, it's sort of, he said he gave the ball away a lot, and I think that's been his story of the season. But
played well against West Brom.
Yeah, he did. It's just another average performance, really. And as you said, we need Santi back, really, in that team to sort of drive us forward and have a bit of composure in the middle of the park.
Yeah. Okay. Whilst the ball is in your court, so to speak, let's talk Jack Wilshere. We spoke about this at work in our office, and I think there's about 50-50 saying, most people saying, well, okay, Wilshere's, we need, if he comes back, he's great. If he stays fit, he's great. Maybe. I mean, as listeners to this podcast will know, I'm not Jack Wilshere's biggest fan. I was, but because of his misdemeanors at 2 a.m. in London, in the city, I mean, more than once or twice, and smoking the odd cigarette.
Can I quickly bring up that London situation, because I heard the latest one, outside the nightclub or whatever it was.
Right.
And I heard that his missus was out on a night out, and he'd gone to pick her up, and he'd had some confrontation with the bouncers. One of them was a Spurs fan or something like that. And he said, "You need to leave," and then it all kicked off from there. So whether or not it was actually his fault that time, but yeah, I see what you mean in terms of his discipline off the field. But yeah,
that's what I can't get over it. It's for me, it's a real problem. I can't believe I'm saying this about Arsenal players, but I just don't like his attitude at all. I'll always love him for it. And as you said, his problem with Spurs fans and fans and players seems to be a big issue, especially with starting fights with bouncers who happen to be support that a lot down the road. So and obviously his infamous now 2-time chant on the Arsenal parade bus after winning the FA Cup, which I would always love him for that, but that's not enough. So he comes on for 10 minutes, and Twitter's like, "Oh, Wilshere's back, brilliant. England's the saviour of England's back, fantastic." And it's like, well, and actually, there was a cross that came into him, and he got down for it. I thought, hold on a sec, is he going to score? And he was right. He was in the 6 yard, well, about 8 yards away from goal, and he was positioning himself, and it's like, hello, yeah, it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So please, can you? I'll get you both to do it if you would like. But Matt, I know you love Jack Wilshere, so please defend him to the hill.
Well, I just think so many people. Well, I think it's a 50-50 situation. You either love him or you hate him, and I think he's too valuable a player for us to lose. I think he offers things that are different to quite a lot of midfielders, and he gives us that drive. He gives us sort of that composure on the ball that I was talking about that we need. And he's just got that eye for a pass as well. I just think we've invested too much time in him to sort of give up now and sort of say, "Oh, off you go." If he went to another big team and he got fit and he stayed fit and he was performing well, I think it would be a big regret from Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen at Arsenal. There's so many players that, Oxlade-Chamberlain, he could be great. He could be great somewhere else. Theo Walcott, for me, I would say he's destined to be off to Liverpool to be part of their injured striker reserve with Sturridge and whoever else comes in. And he's a Liverpool fan, which I won't love to see that, but he can't. I don't think he can develop. Full stop. Maybe he can under Klopp. That's fair enough. He can't develop. Certainly under Wenger. He certainly can't develop at Arsenal anymore. So, if that's the case, then why not just cut ties? I know it's a risk when any player leaves the club, and it's certainly a risk if he went to Man City, and I've said it for a while. I think Pep still likes him, and he could turn him into just a world class player. So be it. I will be like, well, it was never going to happen at us. It was never going to happen under this manager, under this era. So, yeah, Rob?
I am a big lover of Jack Wilshere. So I am very much in the camp of keep him, because I do think he can become something quite special for us.
Do you not think you're just saying, oh yes, he can be? That's the Arsenal motto. Do you know what I mean?
I get that, but I don't know. You're saying he can't develop into this manager, but is this manager going to be here in 12 months' time? Is someone else going to come in and find a role for Jack Wilshere that his legs don't completely, just break as soon as he gets the ball? Which could happen. Maybe the luck of Oranges will change once Wenger leaves.
So you're saying persevere until Wenger leaves with Jack Wilshere?
Yeah, because I think there is something there, and you're saying about Walcott and Chamberlain. I don't think they have the footballing intelligence that Jack Wilshere does. Which,
are you suggesting that Theo Walcott doesn't have a football brain?
I am actually. He doesn't have a backbone either. After he jumped away from Yunus Kabul at the weekend.
What was that about?
God.
What was that about?
Yeah, I knew that would anger everyone.
Yeah.
did anyone see the Everton fan that burnt his Lukaku shirt after he missed all those chances in the semi-final? I was very close to doing that with my Walcott shirt. I referenced a few weeks ago.
Well, you've got lots of football shirts, haven't you, Rob?
Yes, we discovered I have a Wojciech Szczesny shirt as well.
We'll come on to Szczesny in a minute for a certain bit of news potentially. Why Szczesny?
I wanted to be a footballing hipster in 2011 because it's actually Szczesny 53 on the back of 2011's goalkeeper.
And not because the goalkeeper's jersey was cheaper. No.
That was why.
Right.
I'm expecting you to come out and say you've got a Mark Poom Arsenal shirt as well or something like that.
I'm sure someone somewhere has got a Mark Poom shirt.
I know someone that has an Amory Bischoff shirt, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure I've seen that.
That's
before.
extraordinary, that is. Does anyone... Where is he? Has he gone back to Germany? Or is he injured? No doubt he was... I think he came to us with a knee injury, didn't he?
Yeah, he's at some German club, apparently.
Alberto Mendes, Mark II.
Might as well be Eric Bischoff, if you ask me. Maury Bischoff. That's a wrestling joke, which you might not get, Matt. But anyway.
No.
Yes, straight over the head. So, okay, well, I will... Because I'm outnumbered on this evening's edition, I shall... Okay, yeah, we'll say we should adjourn this matter temporarily. Let's say that. Was there any part of our performance that you liked, Rob?
No. On Sunday?
Yeah.
Not at all. Honestly, I don't know what style we're supposed to be playing anymore because we're certainly not this passing possession-based team because we cannot keep it.
I'm glad you brought this up. Right. The thing that I believe we're at now, it's like, a lazy journalist who say, you know what you're going to get with Arsenal. You're going to pass it around. They're going to be great to watch. Well, let me correct you there. We are horrible to watch right now. Yeah. We are horrible to watch. So I don't know where that opinion comes from.
We don't do anything with any pace anymore. No. We get to the edge of the opposition's box and everything is just, you've got to overwork it. And
we've always done that. We've always done that. Okay, in the last 5 years,
we did. But when we had people like Fabregas and Nasri, there was something at the end of it, and something seemed like it was coming. Whereas now, it's just we're going to keep passing it until we give the ball away. And this is how depressing it is. I watched because it's 12 years yesterday since we last won the league at White Hart Lane. Wow. As I watched the highlights of that game, and the amount of the blistering pace that team played at. We had a counter-attack from their corner in the 3rd minute, and we had about 4 players forward. I think it was Omri, Vieira, Pires, and possibly Bergkamp as well, against about 7 Tottenham players back. And we just played so quickly through him, and it was 1-0. And it was, I know Tottenham that year were staving off relegation, but it was that easy. And we did that to everybody.
Is that when didn't Vieira score that day? I think he did.
Yes, yeah. I think that was Vieira's goal, actually.
Yeah, okay.
But we did everything at such great pace, and I know we could control a game with possession if we needed to, and if we were against a team that also played like that, we could sit off, we could counter-attack. But everything was all about physicality, about being faster and quicker and bigger than the other teams, and there's just none of that at the club anymore.
There's absolutely none, and that is the biggest biggest telltale sign for me. If that was still in evidence, great. But do you know what I mean? It's like it's almost like a cliche Arsenal. It's like say a Swansea copied us with their passing, and then maybe somebody else copied us, and then somebody else copied us. In fact, and that was like but the trouble is they're going to be taken over. And now not only have we been taken over, we've been left for dead, and the new everything in this game now is all about press, the high press. And we don't have a chance because Wenger doesn't have a clue how to high press. Absolutely not. I think we played it well one match against Man City when we beat them 2-0, and I hope to God we do the same again. But I don't think we can. So it's that is the biggest sign for me now. It's like we're just a shambles to watch, and that is the biggest argument why now suddenly all the media are sitting up and saying, it probably is Wenger's time. But then you've still got like the old boys like Ray Parlour, who I couldn't give 2 monkeys about because he's sold out, and Perry Groves, and anyone who actually matters knows that, like, you know, and same goes for Mike Keown. His views changed slightly in the last couple of months. He's actually starting to realise, well, hold on a sec, this is not going right now, and you know, and even I think Seaman said, oh, you know, at the back end of last month, in fact, a month ago, he said, oh, you know, well, when Wenger leaves, Arsenal run the risk of having the same problem Man United are. Well, yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, we're still in that problem right now, so it's not. We've got nothing to lose. So I don't see his point there.
I can see people's point. Like, I would be worried that if Wenger did leave, that we would become sort of a Liverpool Man United side in terms of dropping out of the top four.
But the difference is we have to change. We have to make take a chance now.
But I think we are quite well set up in the players that we have, that I'm quite confident that wouldn't happen if a new manager did come in. So I know Fergie left United with not the greatest crop of players, even though he won the league with them. But I think that we've got players in that squad with undoubted amounts of potential to become a successful team. But we just need fresh ideas.
I actually started writing a piece about this earlier, saying that there's no real quick fix at the club anymore. I don't think just buying a couple of players under Wenger this year is going to fix a lot, because we plugged a couple of players in, had a couple of performances, but ultimately I don't think anything's really changed. I don't think that just buying a defender, a midfielder and a forward necessarily is going to change a lot next season.
Because I completely agree. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I also said, well, yeah, we might fall down the table a little bit if we change a manager, but that new manager needs to be given the time and the chances. And, you know, yes, other clubs like Man United are going through two managers, probably going to get a third next summer. How many managers have Chelsea gone through since Abramovich took over? How many managers have Liverpool gone through in the last couple of years? But all those clubs now are starting to make take the right direction. Manchester United might get Mourinho next season. Conte is going to Chelsea, and he'll probably revitalise them like he did at Juve. And, you know, Klopp's already at Liverpool, and yes, they're painfully inconsistent in the league, but they're in a European semi-final, and when he gets his players that he wants, they'll probably climb back up the table. Add to that, Pochettino's building at Tottenham. You don't know how Leicester are going to be next season. Guardiola's going into Man City, who are already, you know, contesting Champions League semi-finals and look like they're the business again now De Bruyne's back. So, you know, we're in danger of being left behind with or without Wenger really at the moment. And, you know, I think it's better to build and change some sort of strength when you're in the top four, rather than take the chance and in a year be 6th or 7th and have to try and build outside of Europe, which, you know, doesn't necessarily mean you can't buy anybody, but it's harder to attract some of the players that we need when, you know, Wenger's not around and you're also out of the Champions League.
Yeah. I suppose leading on from your point also is, again, another conversation I've had, one of many conversations I have frequently, like every week, is, I mean, one would think that the board are now looking around at managers to replace Wenger, or are they doing the other way, the other alternative, where they're thinking, well, we've got Wenger, you know, and it's everything's rosy. It's like they're all wearing like purple rose-tinted glasses in the boardroom. Everything's hunky-dory. And then when we've no longer got Wenger, do we scrabble around for like the Mikel Arteta of managers when he's gone? Do you see what I mean? Do you think there's any planning going on behind the scenes? Because there's very little organisation. It seems to me.
It's hard to imagine them doing any sort of forward planning at that in Arsenal's board, and I think one of the worrying things for me is, would this board have the pulling power to get in a world-class manager?
What, you're suggesting the former owner of, in fact, the current owner of the St. Louis Rams, one of the worst NFL franchises ever, doesn't have the clout. Are you suggesting that?
But yeah,
yes.
I just, as you said, I think we'd end up with the Mikel Arteta of managers.
Might end up with Mikel Arteta.
Who is
himself?
Who is the Mikel Arteta of managers? In fact, we'll throw that out to you, listeners. You can suggest on the Facebook group. Who is the Mikel Arteta of managers? I'll give you a suggestion. Maybe, so not the top drawer. Someone who used to be half a decent manager. Say like I'm not going to say Brendan Rodgers. Someone like Maybe. I mean,
Moyes, because he brought Arteta to England.
Okay, I see what you're doing there, but there's no real middle of the road managers. There's either top ones or just great. Man, I can't think of anyone. Can you help me?
Mark Hughes.
No, don't be ridiculous. I'd say okay, maybe like a Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund, but then would he leave? His project he's got there going there, probably not. If he does leave, we'll have Aubameyang 100%. But yeah. Okay, let's move away from the club a little bit. News on you've got news on Szczesny for us, I believe, Matt.
Yeah, well, basically he was linked today with a permanent move to Roma, and I saw on his Facebook he said, "I get asked if I can stay on loan for one more year. I say it's possible. Next thing you see the English media say, Szczesny wants permanent transfer." And then he says, "You guys are proper poo," with a little poo emoji. Is Szczesny going to stay or?
I have no idea. Him and Wilshere, the two players I have no patience with.
Because when Cech came in, I sort of saw Szczesny kind of after his loan spell, sort of wanting to stay and learn from Cech and hopefully developing into a keeper under him.
I just sat and laughed at that, frankly, because it's like, what? You might learn from him, but you had never in a million years be able to progress as a goalkeeper by watching him, because you're just not that great and you make terrible decisions and you suck a bottle of milk in the back of a net when you concede goals. So I hope you get that reference, listeners. It was Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he lost all faith in after that game.
That's when I lost all faith in him.
Yeah.
Not never mind him getting caught smoking in the changing rooms. That was it. That was disgusting.
He's done that at Roma as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and by all accounts, he's been a flop there. As has, unfortunately, the great Nicholas Bentner, the Prince of Denmark, who's now whose contract has been terminated at Wolfsburg. Sad news. I mean, it really is. Any thoughts on Bentner, Rob?
Man, these players used to be in like Arsene Wenger squads that somehow got into the top 4 of the Premier League, and they're so bad. I mean,
these were dead wood. Do you mean these were the dead wood?
Yeah. Well, Szczesny was our number 1 for several seasons, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's happened to Nicholas Bentner. It's like all the memes about him being Lord Bentner seem to just get to his head, and he actually did believe he'd won the Ballon d'Or 4 times because he stopped turning up for training at Wolfsburg. He's just I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him, because I mean, he had that little spell in 2010 where he got he got the hat-trick against Porto, and then he started getting some winning goals against like Hull and Wolves. I think were like 2 of the teams he got.
Yeah.
He got one against Barcelona as well, actually. And I was like, he's not, big game Bentner. He's not too bad, and he's just completely gone off the boil since then. I don't know what's next for him. I don't know who's gonna pick. Someone will pick him up, because these players always do find a contract somewhere. But I don't really.
Well, but the thing is, he haggles over money, doesn't he? And he's not really in a position to do that.
He does, but if Emmanuel Adebayor can keep getting contracts, and Emmanuel Abue doesn't even pay his agents and gets contracts at Premier League clubs, so Bentner will get picked up somewhere.
Yeah, I was looking for
someone struggling for goals.
I was looking forward to seeing him for Sunderland against us, and hoping that he might gift us a goal. But unfortunately, it didn't really materialise because Sunderland terminated his contract. Which is, I think. As a fan of any other club, you always liked Abue. But then in the last couple of years, as a self-respecting Arsenal fan, you think, oh God. And the thought of just Abue's name makes you want to vault behind the sofa, just in hide, because that was.
I just remember that time.
It was Liverpool, wasn't it? The handball. Yeah.
Makes you want to cry.
It really does. Quickly, we'll talk about. Well, it does now look like, as we can all live peacefully, as Spurs have Spursed it up. Thankfully, the ender of worlds, Craig Dawson. not only capable of scoring an own goal an own goal, but a goal in the opposite side, the other end in the same game. Oh, what a guy! I might get a Craig Dawson shirt.
Get him on the plane to the Euros.
Well, do you know what I mean? If we needed a goal and
an own
shove
goal
him
and
up, no, just a goal, because he's so hard to pick up. It doesn't matter who you are. If West Brom ever played in the Champions League, or they'd be like Craig Dawson would be top scorer. He's got I think he's got 5 goals now for West Brom. He's only 2 behind Solomon Rondon, the top scorer, which is extraordinary. But yeah, it does now look that Vardy's got an extra ban, so he won't be able to play at Old Trafford, which is a shame. But and hopefully Ajoa is okay despite going off with a back injury. So they just need to win 1 of 3 games now. So we can all just, it's such a relief. Do you know what I mean? That it does look like Leicester are going to win the league. I can't believe I'm going to say that. It's not.
It's going to feel so weird on Sunday.
I don't think it'll happen on Sunday. I think they'll draw, and then as Eden Hazard, who's now actually scored a Premier League goal, can you believe it, this season, he's like saying, well, we don't want Spurs to win the league, so they'll be trying their damnedest, and I think it'll be both draws, and which effectively means that Spurs can't catch them. So I think that will be it. But maybe they'll beat Man United. I mean, we hope they beat Man United certainly, so we can keep our 4th place. Something that I brought up actually very quickly is their run of games now is very difficult. They've got obviously Chelsea, and they've got Spurs at home, Southampton at home, and then they've got to go to Newcastle on the last day of the season. They were playing pretty well lately, and they will be fighting tooth and nail for every point they can get to stay up. So there is a chance. I mean, we're 5 points away from them. We play Norwich on Saturday evening, I believe.
Yes.
So is there a chance now that Spurs can just completely capitulate and end up 4th, like we did a couple of seasons ago?
I'm not hilarious.
Even. And St. Totteringham Day is alive. Let's just say, I think it's on. It's back on.
As hilarious it would be, I'm going to tease the idea because I'll just end up disappointed at the end. I've resigned my fate to know we're going to finish below them.
Spurs have always got do you know what I mean? They haven't lost a game since January, but they've always got a Spurs in them. Do you know what I mean? They've always got a they've always got a Spurs, and that would be so unbelievable. But let's cover that bridge, cross that bridge, if and hopefully when it comes to, and we can just mock them mercilessly, which would be fantastic. Okay, let's wrap things up there. We've got the Champions League about to kick off, so I think we're all going to watch that. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining me.
No worries.
So my voice is almost at about 80% now, so it's taken 2 weeks, but it's fantastic news. Can we have your Twitter, please, Rob?
Yeah, Rob Tunginson 94.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Matt B. Dawson.
Thank you very much. As you say, we'd like to hear your views on. Well, let's just say who you'd like to see as to replace Wenger, and who is. So 2 points. Who would you like to see replace Wenger, and 2, who is the Mikel Arteta managerial merry-go-round? You can get in contact with us on the Facebook group or on Twitter at @e_ArsenalNet. You can contact any one of us or Connor or Jamal or any of the fraternity on Twitter, and you can get in contact by that way. Now, I've been Neil, your host, and my Twitter is at the91st Neil. That's at the91ns. Oh my god, 91stnei. I'm really struggling here. Yeah, so please do contact us on that. As you say, we've got Norwich on Saturday, so we'll probably come back to you on Sunday with the pod, possibly Monday. So just 3 games to go now. Looks like it's all